All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. I hope there wasn't an echo on that music. There might have been. Yes, I was moving chords around. I was moving chords around. The hum, the buzz and the hum are just somewhat infuriating. I can't really get rid of them, but you know the deal. Constant sound issues. Okay, that's good. No echo. That's good. Did get a last minute tip yesterday, right after I signed off from Obsolete Optics on YouTube. Thank you, Obsolete Optics. Yeah, let's get into it. What's going on with this story with Joe Biden? Have you guys seen this story? Joe Biden and the documents. It's weird. It's just really weird to me. I don't know what to think about it yet. Here's my thought, I guess. My immediate take on seeing this story. And, just just recently we had Trump, the Trump raid on his home over secret documents, and a lot of people, they found more in his garage. Exactly. They did, I guess. I don't know really what to think about this. Here's my thought. My immediate thoughts on this is that maybe all of this. Sorry, I'll play a little bit of a video from that. People are talking about induction stoves. Yeah. Well, we had, the thing with Trump, and then prior to Trump, remember Hillary Clinton had a server. She was in hot water for, passing around secret documents or keeping them or not caring about them or. So right up front, like, it's not, I wouldn't put it past, so the Hillary Clinton story, I was like, well, sounds about right. And even the Trump story, I guess I was more on the side of maybe they're trying to set him up or frame him because they were like worried about his documents, after he, it sounded weird to me. And now this actually sounds weird to me. The Biden thing sounds weird to me. There's no, but Trump having secret documents at Mar-a-Lago, like I was like, well, sure, and not improbable. I wouldn't, it's not a thing that I would go like, oh, that's totally strange. Biden having secret documents, okay. Now it sounds about just par for the course, but is it really par for the course, or is this a way for intelligence agencies to put an elbow in the back of politicians so that buen provecho. I love that. I like that saying. Is this a way for intelligence? Is this a public show of force by intelligence agencies? Right? Like, oh, oh, look what we have here. We found some secret documents at your residence. We found some secret documents at your garage. We found some secret documents on your server. Right? Is this a way for them to just kind of like marionette politicians? Right? It's like, well, we have these secret documents, and we'll just see how far this investigation goes if you keep doing the things we don't like doing, right? I mean, actually, at the end of the 2016 presidential race, one of the weirdest things was having the FBI, 1 week before the election go like, oh, we found some more documents on a computer and we have to look at them. Like, that was pretty, it was like, really? Again, there's two sides of the story. One side is like, well, if there's classified documents or if there's things that might be incriminating, you should look at them. Also, oh, it's just, you just found these things a week before the election and brought them up in order to do what? In order to sway the election? In order to, because I am of the mind that there's always election chicanery going on. And maybe the powers that be really just wanted Trump at the time. Maybe Trump was the choice. Maybe Trump was the choice all along, right? North South, thank you for the tip on YouTube. Now they just make up info in those docs and everyone will buy it. Exactly. It's like you just put a story out there, and I don't, they did that to Trump all through his presidency. They just put stories out there and people were like, oh yeah, totally. Oh my God. Right. And we found out that most of those stories weren't even true or had very little evidence behind them. And, maybe this is the case with Biden. Right. So it's a little silly, I'm sure the entire, all the right wingers are like, yeah, got him, I don't know. Did you get him? Do you have him? Do you got something? Do you even know what you have? Nobody really knows. It's early in the story, but they just put stories out like this. Maybe this is a way to get rid of Biden. Maybe they just don't see Biden as useful anymore, right? Maybe they really want Kamala Harris president next year. Maybe they want somebody else. Maybe they have somebody else in mind, right? I know I'm being very conspiratorial. Extremely. Russia put those papers in Biden's car, right? Yeah, I just, that was my first thought when I saw this. I was like, wow, okay. It's starting to get weird, right? It's starting to get weird. All the presidents now just have classified documents. All of them. They all do it. So it's either if they all do it, they should all be held accountable, or they all do it. Why are they doing it? Or are they really all doing it? Or is this a way for the intelligence agencies to just put a screwdriver in the back of whoever's president and go like, we are in control, right? Like, just to let you know, we're in control and we're gonna drive this car any way we want. And so just make sure you keep doing what we tell you. And we'll make sure that this investigation goes away or it gets, a little more serious or, right? Keep on driving the car we want the way, they're in the back seat. Keep on driving. Drive the car we want the way we want you to drive. That way. No funny business. Don't make any moves, right? Like this is probably a public display of that. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. That's my immediate reaction to this. Is like, I don't know if it's true or not. It's a weird story. Honestly, it's a weird story. It is a strange story. But with all of these presidents, especially with Biden and kind of the funny business that we know that he's a part of, as well as every other president, most presidents have some funny business going on. I guess Obama doesn't have any classified documents hiding anywhere yet. He doesn't have any yet, right? Oh, but this is interesting. Oh, sorry. Let me reverse what I just said. Screwdriver is iconic. I don't know. I didn't know there was a um let me reverse what I said. He has documents, but he took them when he was vice president during the Obama administration, right? This is the story. So, on some levels, like he's implicated. On some levels he's implicated, but then on another level, well, you did it during the Obama administration. So in some ways it kind of like nosedives into the Obama administration, right? Because if he did it while he was vice president, well, who was overseeing everything? Right? Or who let this happen? Was Obama in on it? Did he know? Right? And so it's kind of almost a way to kind of like, well, let's just get Obama in here too. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. It's so strange, but and it's so early in the story that I don't really know what to think about it, honestly. Other than this is just a really weird story. Let's listen to some audio.
Chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street. So but anyway, in a locked garage. Yes, as well as my Corvette. But as I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified materials seriously. I also said we're cooperating fully and completely with the Justice Department's review. As part of that process, my lawyers reviewed other places where documents from my time as vice president were stored, and they finished the review last night. They discovered a small number of documents of classified markings in storage areas and file cabinets in my home and my personal library. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn. This was done in the case of the Biden Penn Center. The Department of Justice was immediately, as was done, the Department of Justice was immediately notified, and the lawyers arranged for the Department of Justice to take possession of the document. So we're going to see all this unfold. I'm confident.
I don't know. There's so many weird angles to this story. Well, because he said, well, somewhere in his garage and somewhere in his personal library. And somehow he's talking about it as if he doesn't know anything about this. So that's also funny. You know, these documents, they found them. Somebody else found them. Obviously, he didn't find them. Obviously, he didn't go like, sorry, guys, I had these documents. Somebody found them. His lawyers or his aides or some, people that work for him found these documents. But could somebody have taken these documents and stashed them in his house? Sure. Who were those people? Was it somebody that worked for Biden? Was it somebody that worked for the NSA? Was it somebody that worked for who did this? Yes, Scott Andrews. I wish we could get a president that was under 60 years old who doesn't have dementia. Well, last time we had Obama for a while who, could actually had, didn't have difficulty saying sentences and words and stuff. And he was quite well spoken and, very smooth. Still didn't really make a difference on is this president actually going to do good things for you in the end? It doesn't really. I mean, I personally, yes, I would like to see somebody who is not in their 70s be president. No, I don't think Trump has dementia, but Trump is also very funny. I don't mean intentionally. I think he's just unintentionally hilarious to watch. Uh, More funny than Biden. Biden is just kind of sad. Um, yeah, this is just, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about this. I don't know what to say about it. Here's people saying that Republicans planted these classified documents in in Joe Biden's garage. So it could have been anybody. Did Republicans do this?
You know what? But here's the thing: Biden is wrong to have done this. He was in office for 40 years.
Let's find out what this is first. Now, again, one of the things that gets me crazy is before we know, it's already been spun a specific way. I don't want to see that. I want to see someone explain to me, A, how it's possible that after all this time, nobody knew this. Because to me, if you're missing classified information, I don't mean to laugh, but in my house, if stuff is missing, I know it's missing.
Does it feel like Oppo research to you? Does it feel like the Republicans are behind it?
It did originally, but I'm sorry, but not now. Because one of the things he's saying is that some of the locations where the docs may have been shipped in the transition may have gotten taken and put, but still.
Okay. I don't know. That didn't enlighten anybody, I don't think, but or maybe or maybe he did it. Maybe maybe he totally did it. Maybe he totally did it. Maybe he had these classified documents. Maybe they were, I think someone, initial reports are, hey, they do have to do with security issues, Ukraine and other places. So I don't know. Maybe he totally did it, and he's just totally lying. And who knows? It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Like, does it go all the way? Did they find out he really did it? They were his. We're going to impeach him. We're going to take him out of office. We're going to prosecute him, or does it, what happens with this, I wonder. I don't know. We'll keep looking at it, but I just, I saw it this morning and I was like, this is very strange. A really good way to support the show is buymeacoffee.com/Blackburn News. Another good way is Rockman Tips. Another good way is YouTube Tips. I appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you. Here's my address for the Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody is did Trump really take documents? It's a little ridiculous to be, I know, depending on what side of the political aisle you're on, you're going to be like, oh, totally did. Right? And Biden, oh no, he didn't. He was framed, right? That's it's silly to do. Or the other way around, right? If you're a Trumper, oh, he was totally framed by the FBI, but Biden, has documents. Oh, he's totally guilty. See how he is? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about all that. Denver says, I had hypothesized Musk and Twitter files would be how the power removes Biden if necessary. This seems to be another avenue. Do you think that they're trying to get him out? Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah. The View is the worst. The View is the worst. I don't know why anybody watches that show, but plenty of people do. They seem quite popular. I mean, do you think they're actually trying to remove him, and to what end? Was he a placeholder for 4 years? so they could start the Ukraine war. You know, right? They just want him in so that they could, get a couple things done, and then they're going to move on to Kamala or or someone else. Or that's what they think they're going to do. Who knows? It's all speculation at this point. Anyways, let's move on from this. I just want to look at that. Roger Hallam is still in prison for protesting, right? Ecological destruction, basically. Poppy sent me this from Roger Hallam in jail in England for climate protests. This is what we do to our heroes. I'm running out of juice on my. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second.
Quickly go to the world. 30.
I'm losing juice on my phone, so I'm gonna have to hurry this up. I can't charge my phone and do calling at the same time. So if I lose my calling show, sorry, I'm gonna just do it quickly. This is what we do to those who want to inform us. So he says, Roger Hallam, I went for an education interview. A prisoner says, aren't you one of them protesters? Well, tell them when you get out that 3 prisoners have committed suicide in here. Tell them that. He's a caged tiger. His eyes say way more than his lips. I've just finished Jeffrey Parker's Global Crisis, War, Climate Change, and Catastrophe in the 17th Century. In the 1600s, the world's population fell by 1/3 due to the climate, war, disease complex. It's all one thing. Slaughter, rape, suicide, desolation. Our descendants will never believe what miseries we suffered. Except we will, because it's about to happen again. Except for this time, it'll go on forever. CO2 is being put into the air 8 to 30 times faster than at any time in Earth's history. The rumors are coming down the line. Except that they're not rumors, they're facts. And as they discovered in the Warsaw Ghetto in 1943, they are going to have us die unless we stop them. The atmosphere is a gas chamber. It is literally a gas chamber, except this gas chamber covers the whole world and there's no escape. A few years back, when I wanted to say this in public, my PR advisor threatened to resign if I did so. The most important truths can never be allowed to be spoken. And, right on. And that's an excellent point. How many times in the past? Well, quite a few times. I'll just go ahead and answer it before I ask a question. Quite a few times in the past, civilizations have fallen. Right, and this is in human history. Civilizations have fallen, prompted by climate change. Or climate change was in there, right? The early Mesopotamian civilization, right? There was climate change in there. Right? There are other civilizations that you could even say famine. There have been many famines over our history. And we're literally caused by climate change, by a change in a shift in rain patterns, or mega droughts, or whatever, right? Or you could even say solar minimums and maximums. Those happened as well, right? Through the Middle Ages, there was like a solar minimum. It got very, very cold. So climate change is a big part of our history. But this is also another point would be the Dust Bowl era, like the Depression. A lot of those hardships were exacerbated. Not all of them, wasn't the whole story, but were made worse by climate change, and also by land degradation, by the way that we, overworked the soil. All of those things were together. So climate change is definitely part of where we're going, if not the biggest part of where we're going. It is a major part of where we're going. It's not the only part, But it's, eventually it will be the only part. Eventually it's just going to be bigger than all the rest. And that's unfortunate. Well, Max Sarge, when the methane time bombs go off, they won't even let us know. I think aren't they already off? I think they're already going off. We have 50% more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and we have 3 times more methane in the atmosphere, almost 3 times more methane. So that's pretty bad, right? Oh, what about this carbon? This carbon dioxide is really bad. Well, it's up by half. And nobody is talking about methane being up 3 times what it should be. So that's I'd say it's already gone off. The fuse is already lit, or the bomb has already exploded. I don't know which one you want to say. Here's one from the Emperor Has No Clothes. Creative Experiment says California weathermen still saying floods are just kind of above normal precipitation, referencing yearly rain totals, but it hasn't even been a year yet, just 1 month, right? It's a nice way to cook the statistics there, right? All right, we're going to bring back the Buzz, because the Buzz is, one of my favorite guests on the show. Right. I mean, we do have people trying to tell us the truth about what's happening with the weather, and we also have a lot of people trying to tell us that, this is just, it's just kind of crazy weather. It's going to go away and everything will go back to normal. There's a lot of those people too. Probably more of those people. But a new record high for ocean heat in 2022. The record high is actually not the news. Alex Stapp says one of the most striking charts related to climate change I've seen. And this is from the Washington Post. The striking part of this is not the high, the 245 mark, the off the charts ocean temperature. It's this whole entire line. That's the striking part of this graph. Since about 1970, what we have is, a pretty stark image of what is called exponential change, an exponential rise. And it doesn't look like it's going in the opposite direction in any part of this graph, right? There's no like way down here dips. There's no like, there's no climate change. It's always changing in here. There's no climate is always changing in this graph. This is called the climate has done changed. And keeps, it's going to keep on changing in the direction you don't want it to go. So it ain't going to change. It's just going to keep on going this way. That's called climate change forever, like what Roger Hallam was saying. Climate change forever. Just going to keep on going up, and the consequences of that keeping on going up are not going to be fun, unfortunately. Yes, people are under tornado watches. That's right. So, there's a lot of news to bring to you. But yes, thank you for reminding me, Scott Andrews. A lot of people are under tornado watches. Alabama, well, all through the Southeast, I believe. And to quote or paraphrase another alternative journalist, it's happening all the time now. Wonder what's going on. Another journalist that lives in the area in the Southeast. I'm gonna not spend too much time on this, but the German village of Luetzerath has been occupied for a year to protect it against the expansion of a coal mine. All right, we're back. I know like people like to play up that climate protesters are all, they're all controlled ops or whatever. False. That's actually false. Come on back. Sorry, guys. I don't know why. Anyways, the protesters. What was the pipeline in Minnesota that they were protesting? When people get out there and really protest the destruction of the environment, what happens? You have jackboots basically come in. Jackboots. You have the military, the police, or both coming in to get them off the streets, get them out of the way. We have progress in progress, and you're not going to stand in the way of progress. So we're going to arrest you and put you in jail. That's. I know one side likes to say this is all a show. No, they're actually going to jail, right? The people don't. The system does not want you protesting the destruction of the planet, because the system must continue to grow and to do the things that the system does, which the main thing the system does is destroy the planet. Yeah, I don't care, Slava. I don't care about the Navalny thing. I'm sorry. Not right now. I'll look at it later. Thank you for asking me a question. Sorry, man. You just keep saying Navalny, and I got it. I got it. I'm recognizing that you're saying Navalny. I got it. I'll look at it. I don't even know really what it's about. Sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you, Slava. I understand that you're probably here and trying to promote a particular, viewpoint and whatnot. I don't know. I think somebody's paying you to be here, so I hope you're getting paid a lot, whatever you're doing, or maybe you just don't have anything else going on. I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's topical. I don't know if it's necessarily a topic I want to get into. Yeah, I know. Slava is a Stefan Bandera fan. That's kind of why I'm not really super into it. But I'm not trying to be really mean, Slava, but I'm just. Anyways, I saw your comment and I appreciate it. I'll look into it. Anyways, this is what happens to people that don't want the Earth to be destroyed. They get booted. They get jackbooted. And somebody said, about time. Somebody said, it's about time. I was like, I love when the fascists join in. And then they tried to tell me that, anybody I don't like is a fascist. That's how I operate. I'm like, no, you're literally cheering on the police. You're literally cheering on the police, and you're cheering on people, basically getting booted off the land because they're trying to protect the land. You're literally a fascist. So or you have fascist sentiments, you have authoritarian sentiments. And then they went on to report my tweet to Twitter because, they're so open-minded. They're not fascist because they're not fascists, right? Right, fascists. Fascists. I've never muted you, actually, Slava. I've actually never muted you. Literally want people to be, jackbooted out, right? Like, and they want to report me for. He wants me to report me for saying I think you're a fascist. So like, and it didn't work. It didn't actually work because Twitter sent me a thing and said somebody reported you for this tweet, and they're like, it wasn't a problem, so we just let it stay there. You are Antifa, Slava? Okay. Anyways. That was just funny. That was a funny little exchange there. And then he blocked me. But if you get your feelings hurt because somebody just says something true about you, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like people can say things to each other without, wanting to freak out. I also saw somebody, it's a funny exchange. I was following this account, People's City Council, and I started, this account was a little weird. They started getting a little weird to me, right? They started looking a little like shit-libby somewhat. And then, for lack of a better term. And then somehow, they got into an exchange with Jimmy Dore, and they were like, yeah, have us on the show to talk to you about, Jimmy Dore. Or Jimmy Dore was saying something to somebody else, I think, and they jumped in. I think this is how it went down. And then they jumped in, and they were like, have us on the show, Jimmy, to talk about. And then Jimmy was like, he looked at their account, and you can't retweet. The account is like a locked account. And he was like, that looks a little weird to me. That I can't retweet something that you tweeted that I liked. What's going on? It looks a little strange. I'm just telling you, it looks a little strange. And then they just lost their minds. People's City Council just lost their minds on Jimmy Dore. Then they did this entire like 10, 20 tweet thread on how Jimmy was just an old, comic, and he was just a jerk, and he was just all the things, this and that and this, and I was like, wow. You were trying to get on his show to talk to him, and he kind of said, oh, your account looks a little weird, and you lost your minds. Like, and then I basically said that to him. I was like, you doing stuff like this does look weird. And then they blocked me. I was like, all right, good. This is just soap operas, Twitter soap operas. But the people that are just super sensitive, right? They're the ones that want everybody to do everything just like they say, right? The super sensitive people. Cult of Dusty doesn't like Jimmy Dore, right? I'm a Jimmy Dore fan. Sorry. And if you're like super mad at Jimmy Dore, it says something about you. If you're like, I hate Jimmy Dore, I'm like, all right, I see you. I see who you probably are. If you're on the I hate Jimmy Dore crew, you can hate Jimmy Dore. I don't care. You don't have to like Jimmy Dore to watch my channel. I'm just saying, if you hate Jimmy Dore, it kind of says something about you that's pretty clear. Will there be a natural disaster that day to swallow them whole? This is Lucky Burrito replying to this, to Disclose TV. Just in, Klaus Schwab to see record 52 heads of state and nearly 600 CEOs attend his World Economic Forum annual meeting in Davos next week. How many meetings do they have? I know. D-Truth, I mean, some people, I don't like their voices. I don't mind Jimmy Dore's voice, but I understand totally. Voice is a very important thing. Sometimes you could like what somebody's saying, but their voice is just like nails on a chalkboard. And that's all personal preference. But like, So they're going to get a record heads of state. World Economic Forum is probably one of the most hated entities at this moment in time. Right? Like the jig is up. Like people understand what the World Economic Forum is and what they're about and what they're doing, and they're incredibly unpopular. However, they can attract more heads of state and CEOs than ever. Apparently they're not gonna end their plans and schemes anytime soon. It looks like they're going full steam ahead. We need to get everybody in here, all of them. But I also want to know, how many meetings can they have? Because it seems like they have. I don't know. I thought the meeting in Davos just happened. I feel like it just happened, like a couple months ago. How could they have another? Do they have several a year? Am I missing out on some? I don't know. You like the WEF, Sean Kelly? Okay. So, maybe a natural disaster will impede their plans to get together. And what will we do next, fellow demon worshippers? Okay, guys, gonna jump off. We got 10 more minutes in the show. I'm gonna jump off and just hang out on Rockfin. So please, everyone, come on over to Rockfin. Thank you, everyone who has come in here and even to Slava. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us every day. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate the tippers as well. So YouTubers, we'll see you tomorrow. Come watch the rest of the show on